John Razimus here. I'm going to be investigating a haunted theater. It's also a haunted mall. It's a haunted theater inside of a haunted mall. Crap, there's a security guard. He's freaking watching me right the freak now. He's probably woken up. Got a security guard. Not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Alright. Security guard's really chapping my hide a little bit. I'm going to be doing a review of the movie Midsommar. Very scary horror movie by the guy that made Hereditary, scary movie. And I thought I'd watch it at a haunted movie theater. This happens to be a haunted mall. You see, I got a camera on my hat, so you can also see everything I see as I'm filming it. There's no gimmicks. We got a 0 point. For a second we had a, here we go. We got a 0.1. Very low, very insignificant. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be driving around, because there's a security guard. I saw him, unless he was a guy that likes to wear fashionable security guard outfits. It looked like a beige security guard generic outfit. But if there are any ghosts around this area, I know there are. I'm going to be watching the movie Midsommar, a horror movie. It's not safe to drive and film. This happens to be an empty parking lot on the 4th of July. I just watched the fireworks, and I know for a fact this is a haunted parking lot, mall parking lot. I'm not flustered at all. It's just the sight of that security guard is kind of throwing me off. I see him. He's making the rounds. So let's drive to the movie theater. I'm gonna hold this and drive, and I'm gonna have this pointed to this as I drive. 0.5, 3.4, 3.1. So if there's any ghosts, I'm gonna go watch the movie Midsommar, a scary horror movie. And I'm going to ask you ghosts what your take, what your opinion, what you think about the movie. Got a 5.2, 1.7. So what do you, ghosts, spirits, what do you think about the movie? I'm going to ask that after I watch it. I mean, I don't think they mind if spirits watch the movie for free. So if it's not too scary for you guys, might be too scary for me. I might have to close my eyes. I don't know. I'm not the biggest horror film fan. See, I'm a suspense fan, like The Shining. But horror is something I usually don't go for. Seems like the security guard almost exclusively walks on the haunted side. It's no big deal. As a matter of fact, I've never investigated this other side. But I'm convinced the entire mall is haunted. We got a 1.5, 1.1. These are milligauss spikes. This is the movie theater I'm going to.
Then there's Florence Lawrence, the mother of movie stars. She was the first Hollywood celebrity.
I just finished watching the movie at the old AMC IMAX. John Razimus here. Just finished watching Midsommar. Movie about Midsommar something or other. A non-existent cult in Sweden. I saw the young security guard was changed shifts with an old security guard. At least let's hope he's not in the haunted area of the mall. It is legitimately a haunted mall, and as I get closer to the haunted location, I guarantee it's not going to be 0.0 anymore. Whether the security guard is at this haunted area or not, it's hard to say. This is the haunted area. Now let's keep an eye. As I'm driving very slow, I'm only going like 5 miles an hour. Spirits, ghosts. What did you think of the movie Midsommar? What did you think about it? What did you think? 0.1, we're getting closer to the haunted location. The height of the haunted location is right here at an old brewery. Wow, I noticed they finally took down the happy hour sign that was up for years and years and years. This is the haunted building for the most part. There used to be happy hour signs right there for many, 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 many years. It's kind of interesting. The ghosts are laying a little bit low. I'm going to go in a circle. Ooh, we got a 1.3. Okay. That 1.3 is a spirit. Possibly. Possibly. If I had to give the most common numbers for spirits, probably a 2.0, 3.0. 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Those are all extremely common numbers for legitimate spirits. 3.3. I'm going to park next to the Thunder Canyon Brewery really quick. The TCB, and chances are there's going to be a security guard popping out pretty soon. But the TCB, in my experience, is a haunted building. I know this is a haunted area, alright? Spirits. I know this is a haunted area. I see you're coming a little bit closer to the device. Here's another device. That is a static sensitive device. I just turned it on. What did I think about the movie Midsommar? Got a free refill. Okay. This is 0.2. Spirit. I'm going to talk about my review of the movie Midsommar. And if you have any agreements, feel free to chime in by walking close to this device. I notice a 1.5 or something. That is a spirit legitimately walking close. We got a 3.3. As I said earlier, 3.3. Very common number. That is a spirit legitimately walking close. We got a 3.3. As I said earlier, 3.3. Very common number in the milligauss spectrum of a spirit in the vicinity. This is legitimately a haunted mall, haunted parking lot, haunted movie theater. I just went to a haunted movie theater. I just saw Midsommar. A movie by Ari Aster, I believe his name is, the director who also directed Hereditary. So, the movie was very slow. Very slow. I believe it was 2 hours and 25 minutes. Ari could have chopped that 25 minutes off. It could have been a 2-hour movie. It seemed a little bit long, a little bit drawn out. It's more of a suspense. There's a little bit of horror, a little bit of gore, but it's mostly suspense because it's drawn out so much. There's long scenes, 15, 20 minutes long, where nothing scary happens at all. You're just waiting for something scary to happen. There's enough scary scenes to make it a horror technically, but it's closer to the suspense realm. Except for a few gory scenes here and there. It's definitely more gory than The Shining, but compared to modern day horror movies, it's not full of gore. It's probably psychologically scary. They have a long drawn out backstory at the beginning, and I didn't mind that. Despite the length, I would have personally chopped 15 on top of the 25. I would have made the runtime an hour and 45 minutes. I would have chopped a full 40 minutes off of the entire movie. 40 minutes. Literally 40 minutes of just huge chunks of scenes where nothing happens. Stuff happens, just not anything scary. You see a tapestry, it shows something weird, and then you see that weird thing happen 30 minutes later. You're not surprised at all because you saw it. Foreshadowing. So there's a lot of foreshadowing in the movie. There's the typical cult stuff going on. Not real life cult, but horror movie cult stuff going on where people die. People get killed. I don't want to ruin or spoil anything. I'm not going to ruin or spoil any of the movie. But expect people to die. Expect people to get killed. It's not as scary as Hereditary. Midsommar is not as scary as Hereditary. My biggest gripe of Hereditary, other than the actual demon name from actual dark texts, the Goetia, would be the CGI flies. There are some black CGI flies flying all over the place in Hereditary, which don't match the scene. They look cartoony. I guess the flies are decent. It's just the contrast of the flies don't match the scene. They're too dark, so they come off cartoony. And that takes away from Hereditary a little bit. You don't see any technical errors like that in Midsommar. Midsommar, definitely the greatest special effects were not done with CGI. So I was impressed by that. They actually used physical props, you can tell, as opposed to CGI. I always prefer physical props. So in the realm of gory horror movies, I'm not a fan, but my sister is, and she kind of forced me to watch 80s horror movies back in the day. And so I do have a feel of the physical props they would use to chop someone's this or that off. A lot higher quality in Midsommar. Very realistic, pretty scary movie, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how scary is it? I don't know. I'd give it a 4. A scale of 1 to 10, I guess 4. 4. It doesn't even hit a 5. People die, but I'm going to have to turn off this temperature gauge. I can really tell I don't use the temperature thing too often. I don't use the temperature thing too often. When you're in a car with AC blowing on it, it's going to be very inaccurate. So ignore the temperature, but you see that 0.1? That could be something. But that 3.3 we saw earlier was something. So spirits, ghosts. If you liked the movie Midsommar, come close to this device, please. If you liked it, come close to this device in my hand. Ooh, got a 0.5. So at least one of the spirits around here at this haunted mall did enjoy the movie Midsommar. Interesting. If you didn't like it, are there any spirits that did not like the movie Midsommar? If you did not like it, walk close to this device in my hand. Got a 0.1. That's not too much. Come on, if you didn't like the movie, walk close to here. Ooh, we got focusing issues. Spirits. Earlier, when I was here months ago, you said you were stuck here. Is that true? Let me just confirm again. Are you stuck in this location, give or take? You pretty much can't leave, you're stuck here. When I asked that question earlier, months earlier, we're talking, it might have been a year at this point, the antenna, the REM pod feature on this millimeter went crazy, went off the charts. I'm noticing the 4th of July, 5th of July, 1:57 a.m., there's not much activity. But there is some. There's definitely some activity. So, Midsommar, like I said, 4 out of 10 scariness. Not as scary as I was expecting. Did I like the movie? It's the type of movie you can have playing in the background at a party a party with artsy people that appreciate cinema, appreciate film. And the scariest scenes in the movie theater, at a party setting, playing on someone's big screen TV, it'll be unsettling a little bit. But Jordan Peele said it was one of the scariest scenes he's ever seen in any horror movie ever. I would say I disagree with that 100%. While it was unsettling, it wasn't as scary as the hype led me to believe. Now, I didn't read any reviews. I avoided reviews like the plague. I began to read a review, and then it said spoilers ahead, and I closed it. You could play this at a party, but you definitely wouldn't want your parents to watch this movie with you. It's too awkward. The nudity scene is creepy, but it's not as creepy as Hereditary. I would say the nudity scenes in Hereditary are even more creepy. So Hereditary, on a scale of 1 to 10, scariness, I'd say Hereditary is a solid 7. And Midsommar is a 4. That's how much less scary Midsommar is, from my perspective, than Hereditary. Hereditary might even be an 8. I've only watched Hereditary once. I don't want to watch it a second time because it's pretty dang scary. Midsommar, you have a fictional cult with death involved and this and that. There's definitely an interesting skulker in a red car. I wonder if that is the security guard and he doesn't have a security mobile. So spirits. I'm going to be taking off pretty soon, spirits. But I appreciate you setting off this device to the extent that you have. In the past, you've gone crazy and made this thing go off at an intense level. Tonight, you're kind of chill. You're kind of dispersed. You're kind of I'll come back and I'll do a proper investigation of this location. But I almost need permission from the security guard, so I don't have to look over my shoulder every second. And I don't think the security guard can officially give permission, but unofficially he can say, all right, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do nothing. This whole time I've been watching also this, and it hasn't gone off. I'm going to be setting down this. I'm going to put my seatbelt back on, because this car is likely patrolling the area. He's curious what I'm doing. That is my review of Midsommar. I thank you for watching. Stay tuned, more episodes coming soon. I'm editing the past ghost investigations at the 1830s structure. Stay tuned for Night 2, Night 3, and Night 4. I'm going to compile them into a documentary. I'm going to go back. That location has a shy spirit, I would say. Okay. This is going off, but I don't know if it was my hand. No, siree. That was not my hand. There's a spirit here, and it is setting off the static meter. Interesting. Spirit, I appreciate you setting off the device. I was talking about the 1830s structure that I was going to compile into a documentary, and then you started going off. Interesting. Very interesting. This is going off, but I don't know if it was my hand. No, siree. That was not my hand. There's a spirit here. This is going off, but I don't know if it was my hand. No, siree. That was not my hand. There's a spirit here. Well, I just consider that a farewell from the spirit. I'm about to go myself. Stay tuned, more episodes coming soon. I'm John Razimus. Be seeing you. Because I'm curious on a scientific level. What's the boundaries of the spirits at this location? What is the boundary? Just wanted to add one detail about my ghost investigation. The scariest part of the movie was about 10 minutes to go, pretty much about the last 10 minutes of the movie. To the right of me, I heard a creak on a leather chair to the right of me. It sounded like someone sat down on the chair to the right of me. I know the area is haunted, but I didn't know it was haunted enough for a ghost to not only sit next to me, but for me to hear the leather creaking. I had the row to myself. I was sitting at seat F9. F1 through however many there were, 20, 14, they were all empty. The entire F row was empty. And it was clearly coming from the seat immediately to my right. So that was pretty creepy. It was the last 10 minutes. Which tells me that spirit had probably already seen the movie. So they know there's 10 minutes left. They're going to sit down and watch 10 minutes of the movie with me. Which makes sense. If you're a spirit confined to an area that has a movie theater, you're probably going to watch every movie on its first showing. And you're probably not going to watch every movie 1,000 times in a row, unless you're a big fan of it, I guess. But it's very interesting. I legitimately heard a creak on the leather seats. I don't know if it's pleather or leather, but definitely feels like leather. It's probably pleather. It's probably pleather, but they're very nice seats. You can recline them. They have electronic reclining ability. They're very big seats. They're like first class seats in this refurbished, haunted movie theater. There were very few people in the 10:45 p.m. showing that I went to. There were 2 up there, 2 down there, 2 over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there were only 7 people in the entire theater, and I was the only one that went by myself. I do go to movies with other people. I recently went to Toy Story 4 on a date. And Keanu Reeves voices a Canadian stunt action figure. It's actually a fun movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Midsommar, like I said, 4 out of 10 on the scary rating, as opposed to Hereditary, which is more like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 on the scary rating. So Hereditary, from my personal perspective, is easily twice as scary as Midsommar. The unsettling scenes in Hereditary are way more unsettling to me than the unsettling scenes in Midsommar. It was drawn out way too long at the end, you see, written and directed by Ari Aster. I don't think it's going to be seen as his best work. He's definitely a promising director, but it wasn't my favorite. The spirits at the haunted mall, haunted movie theater, haunted area, haunted parking lot, they were definitely kind of chill, kind of laid back, and almost when I went there at 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m., they were way more lively and active. I go there I get out at 1 something. It's 2 a.m. I'm still investigating. 2 a.m. You'd think they'd be lively, but no, they're like, eh. But as far as the static meter going off, that green highlighting on its own intelligently, static electricity is something spirits can manipulate. Until next time, I thank you for watching. This has been John Razimus with MGI Mysterialis Ghost Investigation. Be seeing you.